Have you ever looked into what it actually takes in volume to generate commercial cleaning leads from cold email? If you're thinking about doing this internally as a commercial cleaning company or janitorial company, or you're considering hiring a lead generation agency to do it for you, this video is about the numbers that we're actually seeing today, right now across 50 commercial cleaning clients in the United States that we're actively working with. I'm going to be walking you through in this video on my iPad the actual math to generate one lead for every X amount of contacts emailed. So that X is going to be revealed in just a second, but really what this is going to be about is how many contacts it takes to generate a lead, what reply rates actually look like, and how those numbers turn into 20 to 40 commercial leads every single month when you understand how this really works. None of this is theory. This is coming straight from live campaigns and the actual cleaning clients we're working with today. So before I get into any of the numbers here, I want you to understand how I think about commercial cleaning and cold email or cold outreach in general, is that it's all about timing. It's an aspect to capture demand. It's not really creating demand. You can't have really any offers that make people think, oh, like this is worth switching my cleaning company and using this company instead, or we should fire our internal people and use this cleaning company instead. There's no way you can really do that in the commercial cleaning space. It's all about people actively looking for quotes, or you getting the right message to the right person, and it makes them think differently about their current solution, and it really prompts them to talk to people internally and then make a decision. So they might not even respond back to you on that first week of you emailing them. They could talk internally and then come back to you 2 weeks later as well. So it's all about timing. It's capturing demand. It's making people think differently about their current solution with relevant messages as well. So before I get into anything further around that, again, it's about timing. Think about inbound leads for commercial cleaning. They're going to your website, they're going to your Google My Business page or your Google page, calling the phone number, scheduling a quote, or they're even getting referred to you from a friend because it's the right time for them. With cold outreach, whether it's cold calls, direct messages, direct mail, whatever it is, it's emailing or doing outreach to people to get them at the right time, and you can't control that. So it might be something around budget, it might be something around current solution, it could be about the decision maker in place making those decisions. Sometimes, or most of the time actually, it's going to be a no, but sometimes it could be a yes. So there's a new person that stepped in and would like to change the solution or situation for cleaning services. Their in-house solution is not up to par and they needed to outsource. And then also budget is resetting. Maybe it's just a standard practice for their company to look for outside quotes every year. Or also maybe they think that they're overpaying for their commercial cleaning provider and they need to look for outside quotes. So those are some reasons that they might not be interested or they might be interested. So it's all about timing. So I wanted to go over that real quick because as we looked into our numbers and understanding the real positive interest rate for every contact emailed, it's roughly about one lead generated from 500 contacts in the service area emailed. So all of these circles here, one. That's not many. So imagine doing cold calls, imagine sending emails to all of these people and only getting one. That's discouraging. It's not that many leads out of all the outreach that you're doing. So the first thing you need to understand is because it's about timing and it's about volume, you need to, if you're running cold email, look into a cold email sequencer. Like an email automation tool, not some HubSpot or any email marketing that's more towards like emailing consumers. Look into a sending platform such as SmartLead, Instantly. I think this is Instantly.ai. This is SmartLead.ai. Email Bison. We use Email Bison internally for our email campaigns. It's basically like a approval list. So you need to be a qualified company sending emails already so that you don't ruin their email account sequencer reputation. I don't want to go over it in this video right now, but essentially you can get started with SmartLead or Instantly. These are great sending tools to send from to do cold email as a commercial cleaning company. Or if you're talking to a lead generation agency that uses these tools, know that you're in the right hands. These are standard practice cold email sequence tools. But again, you do not want to be sending manual outreach at the level to only generate one lead to only get 500 emails. But again, just note that this 500 to 1 ratio is not that great. It's a very low amount of leads per contacts emailed rate. There's companies out there that are not commercial cleaning that have killer offers, and they can get you $60,000 in the next 60 days. Otherwise, you don't pay. You'll get refunded in full if they're wrong. There's demand creation offers. You need to be understanding that cold email for commercial cleaning is a demand capture offer. So be okay with this rate. And the numbers for percentage, this is a 0.2% real interest per contact emailed rate, or a 0.002. So if we're doing the math here, 0.002 times 500, that's going to be 1. So you can do your math off of that. As we continue, know that your service area will have people asking for quotes like this. We'd like to get a quote for cleaning. When are you available Monday? Or would you have availability this coming week or the following week to do a walkthrough? These are people in the service area of our clients that are interested in actively looking for cleaning solutions or a cleaning provider. But that's maybe only 1 out of all these people emailed. These that are blacked out, they might be restaurants, nightclubs, companies that only work with national companies, companies that would never use a cleaning service in general, maybe an auto mechanic. So your true service area is the hollow areas that maybe you would want to work with, but you have not discovered. You need to be contacting them. And the only way to do that is cold calling, emailing them, going on LinkedIn, dropping in, doing direct mail. But in my opinion, one of the most effective ways to get out there and know if they're looking for a quote is email. And the reason why I say that is because these companies, whether it's a insurance agency, this might be a dealership, this might be a general office, a software company, they have location-specific email addresses on their website page or their company Facebook page. Might be like that. Well, that would be more Seattle Dentist. Some use Gmail, some use Yahoo, but at the same time might be Seattle Clinic at abcdental.com. So these companies have location-specific contact emails. At the same time, you can be emailing Abby Smith at abcdental.com, who might be the facility manager. What we do with this true lead to contact emailed rate, we include both. So these are location-specific contact emails and also DMs, so direct decision makers. Now, we go on to this, you're going to be getting a lot of people saying, not interested. Now, with commercial cleaning and knowing that it's a timing game, to make the 500 to 1 ratio still be true, you need to be having a recycling process and being able to also respond to people that are just not interested with something polite, so that it keeps the conversation warm. This is really just positive noise into the market using cold email to see if people are open to quotes, because usually most people are not looking for quotes. But really, you don't want to be emailing people and them saying no and giving you a reason why, and then you never emailing them back. So first off, when they say no, and it's for maybe because of their budget, or it's not the right time because their provider's good, they have it handled in-house, it's always nice to have a thoughtful response back to them and just saying, hey, thanks for letting me know. Have a good rest of your Thursday. Have a good week ahead. If it's a Monday, things like that. Just have a thoughtful response. So the first thing is thoughtful response. And the second thing is recycling every 60 days. So every 2 months, every 60 days, you should be reaching out to people that aren't necessarily interested at the moment when you first emailed them, but didn't explicitly tell you to not email them again, or that they're explicitly the wrong person for this to make decisions. With the reply rate that we shoot for and what we typically see, if we're not getting a 7% reply rate across our campaign, we know something's wrong. That means our email account system is, or our infrastructure, our sending infrastructure is not healthy. We don't have enough email accounts going on. We are needing to fix the list quality. Maybe we had a bounce rate issue, but overall, a 7% response rate, reply rate across the campaign. That leaves us with about 93% people that do not respond. Now we need to take off 3% because that's our bounce rate metric that we need to be accounting for. So for every 100 emails that we email, there will be 3 emails that are invalid. Maybe we had our email validation checker that we use internally incorrect, or maybe the person just left the company and their email account was deactivated. Whatever it is, we need to be accounting for really about 90% needing to be recycled. So the 90% goes into the recycling every 60 days. So that's why it works month over month. And that's again how you generate that 500 to 1 lead ratio. So really, this can turn into interested. Maybe someone's not interested today, but you email them 30 days later, or really 60 days later, and they're interested. Or you recycle again, and it's the 120th day since you've emailed them the first time, and now they're interested. But also at the same time, because you have, number one, a thoughtful response, they could come back in a couple weeks or a month later or a month and a half or 2 months later and say, hey, I'm actually interested now. Are you interested in doing a walkthrough so I can get a quote? That comes out of the thoughtful responses as well. So really that goes into everything for the 500 local contacts emailed to 1 lead generated ratio. So now to get, first off, this amount of leads saying, yes, we're interested in a quote. This is the right person. Text me, call me, things like that. You can't be just running 500 contacts based off that ratio. You need to multiply that by a lot to get 10,000 contacts. And what we're seeing across the cleaning clients that we work with, this is pretty much every time, no matter what service area it is, no matter how metropolitan it is, given that it's not some super rural area that has 0 businesses and it's the middle of nowhere in the mountains, most service areas, whether it's a large metropolitan area, medium-sized or small to medium-sized area, as long as it has 30 miles of service area, you're willing to drive about 45, 60 minutes outside from your main office or main company location, you're going to be able to find roughly about 10,000 contacts. Also, there's going to be maybe a 5% error rate of these people. You're emailing contacts that are needing to be in office near the facility. And commercial cleaning, in my opinion, is one of the hardest industries to generate local lead lists for, enough of it. So yes, you can have some super precise lead lists that you're pulling from Apollo, facility managers, office managers, workspace managers, and CEOs and chief operations officers in, say, Atlanta, Georgia. Maybe you'll only get 6,000, 7,000. That is not going to be leading you to that many leads though. So to be able to expand on that, you need to be creative. And we go over on other YouTube videos, or I go over on other YouTube videos, the template workbook in Clay to use AI to expand the search and find people that are typically not able to be found on LinkedIn, but also we're emailing location specific contact emails. So again, ABC Dental, Seattle office clinic at gmail.com, emails like that are location specific contact emails, because those are usually available at the bottom of company websites, especially the websites that are specific to the location in your area. Now, when I am saying that 10,000, I want to just go back to it and say 10,000 contacts for roughly 30 miles of service area. And then if you're going to be looking at 60 miles, most of our clients are either 30 miles or 60 miles of service area per market. You can expect doubling that. So 20,000 contacts. Now, if I do the math here, okay, so 10,000 times 0.002, you can expect 20 leads every month. So 20 leads, 20 commercial leads. This one, multiply it by 2, 40 leads per month. Now, if you have 90 miles of service area radius, which you have a couple clients that are there, if it's just a company that does different markets, or they have one very, very large market, maybe they cover a whole state, you can see 60 leads. And when I am calculating these numbers, the 500 to 1 ratio, the 0.002 number that we're multiplying the total amount of contacts by, is a conservative number. That's basically calculating the almost worst case scenario. So if we're going to be working with a client that's in a decently commercial area and they have about 30 miles of service area radius around their office, or they're willing to go about 30 miles from their office or main focal point, and then we can get about 10,000 contacts, and we can expect on the lower end on a monthly basis. It changes every single month. It's a range for a reason. We can expect about 20 leads. And again, for 60 miles, 40 leads. And at the same time, it doesn't really matter about the competition as well. It definitely plays a factor of, like, for example, New York City or San Francisco, there's a lot of different providers, but maybe some areas don't have that many cleaning providers and they're one of the only ones. That definitely helps. But at the same time, with cold email and doing the strategy that we use with many different email accounts, sending and asking just a very simple question, are you open to a cleaning quote? It's pretty similar with the results and amount of leads generated for the amount of contacts emailed. And then also I want to be mentioning that you need to be sending you need to be doing a 3-step email campaign sequence. And again, it's automated through SmartLead or Instantly or Email Bites, whatever you're using. So the first step will be intro. Second is repeating CTA day 3. So it waits 3 days and then sends an email in the same thread. And then third step is asking for contact email. So it's reaching out because we're looking to work with buildings in the area. Who's the best person to email, or what's the right email to contact, since it doesn't look like you're the right person, basically. Some people raise their hands and say, I'm actually the right person, but we're not ready for this. Or maybe even they will say they're the right person, and that third step is what did it, and they're asking for a quote now. Or they're just saying, we're the right person. You call them up, and they're actually looking for services. You can do a walkthrough. So it's a 3-step email campaign. Now, lastly, last part of this video as we conclude, 3-step email campaign. You need to be multiplying. We're just taking 10,000. You're going to be accounting for the 3-step email campaign sequence and multiplying it by 10,000. So 30,000 expectation of emails being sent every month to be able to get that output. So 30,000 emails, you need to be having a sender infrastructure to send that many emails. What that really means with the math, we're going to be having 22 business days, and you also need to be sending roughly, if I haven't said it already, with regular business email accounts, whether it's Outlook or Gmail, 15 emails per day. That's the safe side. You can stretch it and go 20 emails per day. But why I'm saying this sending limit is because we attach 3 email accounts, business email accounts, again, whether it's Google or Gmail, it's the same concept, per domain, per one domain. Now, when you're using domains with our strategy, you need to be using secondary domains. What a secondary domain is a lookalike. Think, for example, if your company is xyzcleaning.com, and then you would add try at the beginning, or C, or with, or local, or at the ending you could put company, team, HQ, just lookalikes of your company website. It should have cleaning in there or janitorial, and basically mimic your website, and then it will redirect to xyzcleaning.com. There's a thing called forwarding, redirect, and so if someone's skeptical, they copy and paste the domain of the email that they got sent from, or the email account that they got an email sent from. It's going to go to your main domain. They can actually see that you're in the area, you're a real company, you have reviews, all that stuff. So you're redirecting these secondary domains to your main website domain. Now, going back to this, 22 business days, you're sending 15 emails per day from each email account, and you have 3 email accounts per domain. If you're going to be sending 30,000 emails, you need to be calculating 15 times 22 to get the emails per day. So 330, my handwriting can be a little bit better on this one. Now 330, you're going to be dividing the total emails that you'll be sending by that number, and that didn't work. So let's just do 30,000 divided by 330. So that's 90 email accounts that you need. 90 business email accounts. And that's going to be 3 email accounts per domain. So you need 30 domains. And then again, 90 email accounts. That's the volume that you should be sending to get that amount per service area. If you're going to be getting, or if you're going to be having a 60-mile service area, and then you should be doubling this. Realistically, it should be 60 domains and then 180 email accounts. When you're working with a lead generation provider, there's a scaled cost effect. Basically, the more email accounts you have with a email account provider that does cold email accounts, the pricing goes down with scale. So that is one reason to use a lead generation agency. But if you're doing this yourself, know that you're going to be having a high operational cost for the email accounts. But in terms of looking at it in the long term and knowing that if you land a couple $1,000 accounts, $2,000 accounts, or maybe even something that's larger, that's a multi-location deal or $10,000 a month deal, it's going to pay for itself, even if it's going to be a decently high operational cost. What I like to say is that you should be having multiple channels working for you all at once so that it creates a flywheel. So that means cold email. If you already have cold calling, continue that. If you're using paid ads on Google or whatever it is, continue that. But with cold email, this is something that can work month over month. And if you're doing it yourself, go into it knowing that it does take some learning. It does take an operational cost, and it's not cheap. It's not super affordable, but it does work, and it does return on your investment if you do it right. But again, go into it knowing that for every 500 contacts in your service area that you email, you can expect 1 lead. So I'm going to be exiting out of my iPad view here. Again, just wanted to go over the numbers that we are currently seeing across our current commercial cleaning and janitorial clients, and where we build expectations, and what you can also expect as you pull lead lists, and how many email accounts you need to be using to send to these lead lists. If you are interested in working together, or at least just understanding our services on a call, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it, book it, and we'll talk to you about how many quality commercial leads that we can generate in your service area on a monthly basis. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Thank you.